Hi everyone in the reading class. Welcome to the week 10 of English communication reading. This week we are going to start a new unit 12. So you should have your textbook open to page 145. Okay, 145. That's the part of the textbook we will use today. So let's begin. Uh, as I said, in every week's almost every lessons, whenever you see this stop logo, stop sign on the screen, please stop the video and work on the activities you have in the textbook or as I said. So let's begin. Uh, First, Unit 12 talks about living for the future. It talks about nature, it talks about recycling. In other words, it talks about how to save the world, save the earth for people of another generations to come. Okay, sure, it's kind of save the energy theme. So in the beginning, there is a questionnaire on page 145. Okay, are you a friend of the environment? Do you love environment or not? So please stop the video here for maybe two minutes and try to answer the questions from number 1 to number 8. It's not question, it's a checklist. Okay, it's a questionnaire ankit. uh, Choose always, sometimes, or never. For example, number 1, I turn off lights when I leave room. What do? Do you always turn off light, or do you sometimes turn off light and sometimes not, or do you never turn off light? So please stop the video here and take about 2 minutes time. Nifungurai. Then check these 3, always, sometimes, or never for these 8 statements. After that, come back and play the video again. So stop the video here. Okay, I hope you did a good job. I don't know how your answers appear, but let's see. What I do is, for example, I turn off the lights when I leave room. I always turn off the lights when I leave room. I recycle paper or write on the reverse side of paper. Reverse side means the opposite side. You write on this, for example, if this is a paper, you write on this side, and then when you finish, you write on the other side. That's reverse side. Sometimes I do that, not always. I recycle aluminum cans and plastic drink bottles. I always do that. Cans and bottles. Maybe all of you are doing that too. I use public transportation such as buses or trains. Um, yes, most of the time I use public transportation. I buy used or recycled products. I don't know. Sometimes I buy, but not so many times. I will put it over there. I take short showers and use water carefully. I think I don't do that. I like to take longer showers. Long time in Ofuro. That's good. I don't know. Maybe I'm not good at saving the water. I eat more vegetables than meat. I always try to eat more vegetables than meat. And I avoid buying products with wasteful packaging. Wasteful packaging. I try to avoid, but in Japan, it's not only in Japan. In when we buy things, for example, when we buy things online, it comes with a lot of packaging, a lot of like fukuro wrapping. It's very difficult to get those up. So I'll put it over there. I don't know, what answers do you have? What options did you choose? Let's see, what kind of result do we get? For example, if your answer is mostly always, I think like mine, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 always, 50%. You look for ways to use less and recycle more, even if it requires more effort or time. Congratulations for being a true friend of the environment. So I think I am a good friend of the environment. Sometimes, if you have many sometimes, it's awesome that you're thinking about the future. So it's not like you're totally ignoring, you're thinking about the future. Keep doing what you're doing and think of more ways you can help out. Okay. If you have less, always, you can think of more options that you can, for example, eat more vegetables than meat or use public transportations, something like that. And if your answer is never, most of your answers never, don't worry. You have never done these things before, but it's not too late to start. So no problem, but you can start to make changes. Take small steps. For example, turning off your electronics when you are not using them. You use a computer, and if you're not using, turn it off. Okay, or taking showers instead of baths. So bath is ofuro, shower is shawa. Okay, maybe taking showers saves water, uses less water. So these are some of the ways you can start making changes. Okay, maybe all of you are a good friend of environment. I hope so. Now let's go to chapter 1. Chapter 1 is reading about Australia. Clean up Australia, clean up the world. So the reading comes from page 147, but before we go to the reading, please look at page 146 to do some activities. We have, before we read activities, so what we have to do is think about the questions to the answers to the following questions. First, number 1, do you think your city is clean or dirty? What do you think? For example, if you live in Tokyo or Yokohama, is this city clean or is this city dirty? I don't know. It's your idea thinking, okay? Maybe it's clean. I think Tokyo or most of the cities in Japan are clean. So what do you think? Number 2, why are some cities cleaner than others? Or what can people do to make their cities cleaner? For example, even in my home country, Kathmandu, not so clean. Tokyo is cleaner. Why some cities are cleaner and why some cities are not cleaner? Can you think of any reasons why? And what can people do to make the cities cleaner? Think about that ideas. And number 3, what are some kinds of volunteer work that people do to help the environment? What can we do to help environment? You don't have to write down your answers, but think about these answers. For example, for number 1, it's all our personal answers. Sorry. For number 1, it could be your personal answers. For number 2 and number 3, you can think of some ideas. So brainstorming some ideas there. I want you to stop the video here for maybe a couple of minutes, about 2 minutes. Then think about some ideas for number 2 and number 3. Okay, for number 2 and number 3. Stop the video here. Okay, I guess you have done that. And do you have your answers ready? I haven't written any answers on the screen for you, but like for number 1, it's your answer. For number 2, some cities are cleaner than others because some cities have like strong laws, strong kisoku against pollution. Okay, for example, gomi ste no hoho kibisi or something like that. And some cities have like rules. They do not allow private transportation. People should use public transportation systems. And so people and government are making policies, making rules in those cities. In the cities, if the cities are cleaner, for example, number 2, for these kind of cities, the clean cities, governments and people are making rules and following them strictly. How about number 3? What can people do? What are some kinds of volunteer work that we can do to help environment? For example, we can like make groups and we can go to other people and make groups and aware them about the problems, teach them about the problems. Oh, we should not pollute the environment. Okay, we can start campaigns. Okay, cleaning campaigns like recycling centers or reusing household items. We can teach them. That's a very easy work, volunteer work to do. But there could be so many. So if you think of new, that's very good. You did a good job. Next, now we're going to do the before reading activity. Before reading is reading skill. Reading skill we are going to focus in today's lesson is scanning for names and numbers and kind of dates. Okay, names, numbers, dates. Because sometimes in the reading, the key information, the main information comes in numbers and names and dates. For example, dates, name of people, name of places or events. When they come in numbers, numbers are either presented as digits, numbers. For example, Suzy 1, Suzy 2, 3, or 1990, 2020. And sometimes numbers are written out as words, like in Romaji, ONE1. Okay. So when reading a passage, you have to quickly scan the numbers and scan the names. Most of the times, the names are presented in first letter capital, so it should be easy for you to scan numbers and names. Now let's practice. We have these 5 questions from page 146 of your textbook. Read the 5 questions and circle the type of information you need to scan for. For example, for number 1, when did Ian Kiernan organize his first cleanup event? When? So what should you look for? Do you look for date? Do you look for name? Or do you look for number? For this question, どの答え探すかをまずは丸つけてください。Is it a date? Looking for date? Is it asking for name? Or is it asking for number? その次に、scan the passes on page 147, 147の passes quickly 見て答え書いてください。Okay? Again, time for this is 2 minutes. Okay? Stop the video for 2 minutes. Okay, I hope you have finished that. 終わってない人はまだ止めたまま続けてくださいね。So, for number 1, what do you look for? Do you look for date? Do you look for name? Or do you look for number? So, most important is if you see this over here, when is always asking for date, okay? If you have when, that means time. So, date is a bigger time frame. Number 2, how many people took part in the first Cleanup Australia? How many? So whenever you see how many, that's looking for a number. Number 3, which organization helped Kiernan organize Clean Up the World? So which, if something is asking for which, maybe you can look for a name of the organization. Again, number 4, how many? So how many is, we did in number 2, how many looks for numbers. And what program. So again, which program and which organization, what program, these kind of things look for names, okay? You have to look for them. Now, what answer do you actually have? For number 1, when? When did Ian Kiernan organize his first cleanup event? The answer is in 1989. Number 2, how many people took part in the first Cleanup Australia? Over 300,000 people. Number 3, which organization helped Kiernan organize Clean Up the World? The organization is the United Nations Environment Program. And 4, how many countries took part? 80 countries. What program helps people reuse and recycle cell phones? The program is Clean Up Mobile Phones. That's the name of a program they are starting. Very good. Now, before we go to the reading, let's quickly look at some of the words that you might see in the reading. These are the words from the reading. Alarming is worrying or disturbing. Okay. Oh, you're disturbed by the issue. For example, the COVID-19 coronavirus issue is alarming now. It's disturbing people. Volunteers, it's easy. People who work but don't receive money for volunteers. So you can volunteer in a big place. You can be volunteer in a small place. Anything, any kind of work that you offer to do is volunteer. Next, ambitious is having a strong desire. You want to do something. I want to do something really, really focused on to doing something. That's determination to do something. That's called ambitious. Launched is started. For example, launched is like sending rockets to the universe, also launching a rocket, but beginning. Launching means the beginning. Ega tokamo, launch. That's the beginning. Okay. Starting. Waste is unwanted materials that you don't use anymore, you throw it away. Accumulating is to collect, gather together, build up. United, joined together. For example, united we stand means we become stronger if we are united. Persistence is continuation on doing something, never giving up. Persistence, continuing. Okay. Now, these are some of the words you might hear you might find in the reading. So please read the passage carefully on page 147. And then after you read the passage, complete the assignment through the Google form link I sent you to your email. So I hope you're having a very good time. If you happen to have any questions, send me an email, then I can respond to that. So that's all for this week. Goodbye. Take care, stay healthy, stay happy.